It appears that Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is struggling a little bit in the box office. As you can see here, in China it is doing absolutely horrible. So we're going to get into that in a little bit here. And we're also going to take a look at the domestic box office, because even that isn't doing as well as The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker has. So, but in China it is flopping horribly, absolutely horribly. So, China box office, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker crashing, beaten by local blockbusters. The J.J. Abrams mega tentpole, made for an estimated $250 million to $300 million, is opening in a distant 4th place in the massive Chinese market, earning less than any Disney Star Wars trilogy title to date. Holy crap, that is absolutely horrible. I'm sure that Disney is not liking the signs of that at all. Especially since we all know that Disney loves to pander to the Chinese market. I mean, not just Disney. A lot of these companies like to pander to the Chinese market. But Disney is particularly bad at that. Even going so far as to make, John Boyega's character Finn even tinier on the poster, because apparently a lot of people in China are kind of racist when it comes to black people, actually, which is pretty bad. But and it just goes to show that Disney's whole pandering to minorities and inclusivity and all that type of stuff doesn't really mean anything. At the end of the day, money will always speak louder than any of that type of stuff when it comes to companies like Disney. So, which is why it's so important for us to speak with our wallets, right? So anyway, as of 5 p.m. local time, J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker had earned just $1.6 million for the day. The figure rose to an estimated $2.4 million by the conclusion of evening shows. Although Disney won't officially release its statement until Saturday, Skywalker earned an additional $3.6 million on Wednesday and Thursday previews, according to Disney. That puts its 3-day total at roughly $6 million, which is just absolutely awful. So bad. Maowen's database forecast for Skywalker's full run currently sits at a lackluster 17.8 million, which is just like, it is pathetic how terrible that is, especially when you compare it to The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens in China made 124 million. Rise of Skywalker is only supposed to is going to end up making around 17 million, which is just like, man, that the comparison between those two is just awful, and I'm sure that Disney is not liking the signs of that at all. But even The Last Jedi made a lot less than Force Awakens did. So as you can see here, The Last Jedi only made 42 million, which is still much less than The Force Awakens made. But it just goes to show, and you can see this in the domestic numbers as well, that this entire trilogy has just been on a decline. That the hype for this trilogy has continued to die with every film. And you're going to see that in the domestic numbers as well, which I will be showing you in just a little bit here. Anyway, so that's pretty much all that we can really speak on as far as the Chinese market goes. But even domestically, it's not doing that well either, at least compared to the other ones. So box office, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker blasts off with big 40 million in Thursday previews. But, and I love how they don't really say this until you get down into here, but let's see here, where is it? So the movie's preview earnings came in below those of the series' last 2 installments, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, which earned a massive 57 million and 45 million respectively. So Rise of Skywalker is still making less than The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, which is really bad, especially when you consider that this movie has been marketed as kind of like the end game of the Skywalker saga, right? Like it's been basically, I believe that some people have actually said that this is kind of like the Avengers Endgame version of Star Wars in a lot of ways, which it should not be doing this badly for the Avengers Endgame of Star Wars. Avengers Endgame is the biggest movie of all time. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker should be one of the biggest movies of all time as well. And it just goes to show that there is a lot of problems with Disney Star Wars at this point. And they really need to get their act together. They really need to take a moment to think about where they're going to be going from here on out. Think about how they can get back the trust of the fans, which, for a lot of fans, I don't even know if that's possible, to be honest. I don't know if a lot of Star Wars fans are ever going to give Disney another chance again with the way that they completely butchered this entire trilogy. And honestly, I don't really blame them. You know, hey, if you are not happy with the way that Disney's doing Star Wars, I do not blame you at all. And I am not happy either. Like, especially with The Rise of Skywalker, I am not happy with this movie, especially with the way that they completely just trampled all over Anakin's story and his arc and all of that stuff, his character arc. That Rise of Skywalker pretty much just made Anakin's entire story irrelevant, unnecessary, and a complete waste of time if you're going to consider Disney Star Wars to be part of canon, which I don't think I'm ever going to do. To be honest, I'm just going to stick with the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Those are going to be my Star Wars movies, and I'm just going to forget everything else, to be completely honest. But anyway, so yeah, and it shows that there is a decline with every one of these Star Wars trilogy movies, which just goes to show that there is something not right with Star Wars under Disney. And I know that a lot of people are happy with The Mandalorian, and hopefully Disney will kind of learn from that and figure out how they can try to improve things. But man, it's not looking good. It is absolutely not looking good. And I'll keep you guys updated on the box office numbers for all of that. We do have the Friday numbers as well, so that's 90 million on Friday for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Let's see here if they give the comparison. Not even the Force is immune to some sequel fatigue, despite the latest Star Wars pick being billed as the finale for the Skywalker saga. 2 years ago, Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi, which divided fans, opened to 220 million domestically, preceded by a then record 248 million. Nevertheless, so it looks like it's projected to make around 190 million for its opening weekend here. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on all of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. What did you think about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker if you have seen it? I do want to hear your thoughts about it in the comments below. So if you're new around here, consider subscribing as well. I would greatly appreciate that. And I'll talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
With my heart's desire.